No one's born racist, it's taught.
I feel like you live your life always aware that something's different about you.
I feel like there's many things that can stop me from getting to where I want to be because of the colour of my skin. Sometimes I have to feel like I have to prove myself.
Hi, I'm Mandy and I'm from Wales.
Hi, I'm Isaiah and I'm from Coventry.
My name's Zion, I'm 14 and I'm from Manchester.
We're going to share our
Experience with you of growing up black.
14-year-old Zion and 13-year-olds Isaiah and Mandy are just 3 of the many black kids growing up in the UK today. Over the next 2 films, they want to look at what's great and not so great about growing up black in Britain. They'll share their experiences, talk to other kids, their families, and even hunt down some A-listers. How has racism affected all of them? And how can they, as black teenagers, speak out on how to make life better for young people in this country? Because everyone agrees, there is much to celebrate.
Black is excellent.
Black means culture to me.
A blessing from God.
Being black is pride.
I love how vibrant with all its different colours.
I love all of its glorious history.
Being black empowers me to be whoever I want.
Being able to accomplish a lot of things.
I love my skin colour.
It makes me feel special.
While there are lots of brilliant things about being black, there's also another side to it. In May 2020, many people across the world came together to stand up against racism after an unarmed black man called George Floyd was killed by police in Minneapolis in America. Racism is where people are treated differently because of the colour of their skin.
George Floyd died because of his race.
It wasn't the first time that something like this had happened, and it became very clear that this was not just an American issue.
Another African-American man has been killed by police in the United States.
How did an event in the city of Minneapolis spark a protest that spread right around the USA and the world?
Today in London, following the worldwide protests over the death of George Floyd in the US, thousands of people gathered in central London this afternoon to make their voices heard.
Stand up! Stand up! Rise up! Rise up!
But we want to make sure they're not just chanting for George Floyd in Minneapolis that they couldn't point to on a map. They're marching for people in Brixton. They're marching for people in Tottenham, in Moss Side, in Hull.
Isaiah, Zion and Mandy have all been called some horrible things and treated badly because of their race.
I have been straight up just called, like, you dirty N-word.
People have directly come up to me and said comments about my skin. You know, why are you so dark? Why is your hair like that?
When I went into a supermarket near where I live, they would follow us around the store to see if we were stealing.
Even though they live in different parts of the UK, they've had a lot of the same experiences growing up.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm pretty much gonna be cooking a 3-course meal. Today, I'm gonna be showing you how I get this high puff. I like to film TikToks, film new YouTube videos.
You can call me Gordon Ramsay.
By doing YouTube, it's allowed me to express myself. When I grew up, I want to be a midwife. I have experienced racism. I've been called the N-word on multiple occasions. No one's born racist, it's taught. There's only one black teacher in my school. I would feel comfortable going to her because there's somebody there that I can relate to, and I know that they would have gone through the same struggles as me. I shouldn't have to live in a diverse area for me to feel comfortable.
I'm big into music. It's a really easy way to express myself. I do want to get into music. People decide to cross the road and carry on walking so they don't have to walk next to me. I do walk around most of the time with my hoodie up, and I guess I'm seen as a criminal or a bad person. You live your life always aware that something's different about you. I've almost kind of got used to it. but it does affect me. I don't see why people can look at the colour of other people's skin and decide that I'm gonna treat you differently. I'm kind of worried that I'm gonna go out one day, go get a nice car and be stopped because they don't believe that a young black man can have a nice car. I personally don't feel that the police are all bad, but also do know those policemen find their way ending up targeting certain people who are most likely going to be black. I don't know what it would take for the whole world to just be able to see life from that positive point of view where everyone is the same.
Being black in the UK is sometimes difficult because of the area I was raised in. The majority of people that are there are not the same colour as me. It was a bit uncomfortable because then you kind of felt out of place in sometimes, but then again, you're with your family, so. When I went into a supermarket, they would follow us around the store to see if we were stealing. Because I was with my mum, it made me feel very upset because it's just like they don't care. I think people think that I'm less intelligent than I am because of the colour of my skin. It makes me feel a bit judged because people are judging me not off my qualifications, but off the colour of my skin. Sometimes I have to feel like I have to prove myself. The pressure is a lot, but I choose to deal with it because I want to make my family proud and show them that I can be able to do what I want in the future.
Racism doesn't just affect kids today. Zion, Mandy and Isaiah are having a chat with their parents about what life was like for them when they were younger.
What was life like for you growing up as a kid?
We had National Front that I used to deal with on a regular basis when I went into school.
What is the National Front?
They used to like intimidate us and want to fight us, and we used to run. There were times when we did make it, where we kind of got trapped and we had to fight our way through. And that was just life.
Having brown skin was something that you had to get used to quickly, but also know that you've got to work hard in life.
What was it like to be stopped and searched by the police?
The first time it happened, I'll probably say it was a little bit terrifying. But then you go from terrified to angry really quickly, because you know you're being victimized, you know you haven't done anything wrong. When you have those kind of experiences from a very young age, you grow up not trusting the police. Now that I'm a parent, my worry is if you were to get stopped by the police and if you're with your group of friends and someone reacted, it will escalate. And when you go out, and I say to you all the time, just put your hood down. And it's wrong to say that you can't just wear where you want to and be where you want to be, because I don't want to have that phone call that says that you've been arrested or something's happened. I'm not actually worried about something happening to you with someone else. I'm more worried about something happening to you with the police, which is crazy, because they're supposed to be the ones that are supposed to protect us.
So when you came to the UK, did you have any issues?
At the end of my degree, I did 70 applications. Every single one was rejected. And people who had much lesser grades than me got jobs just like that.
Why do you get me to work so hard?
It's not always the racism that's in your face that you can see with your eyes or your ears. It's sometimes what you feel and you can't see it. So your education is a way of arming you to protect you from that. If you add your faith and your grades, then no one can stop you. It doesn't matter what they do.
I'm an example of how struggles do not mean that you stay down. Struggles are there for a purpose. They teach you. All you need is one door to open, my child. One, and you take off. And remember, love and making decisions to not be bitter are important to your success.
If you could change one thing for me, what would it be?
My generation, we've been running for so long without any shoes, and we've been winning. Now imagine if we had a nutritionist, a coach, and spikes. We were breaking records.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I see for your generation. That if you had those things in place, completely Like, you will break records, you would do amazing things. And that's what I want to see happen for you guys.
For Mandy, Zion and Isaiah, there hasn't been enough positive change from one generation to the next. They want to make sure that things are different for their kids. Isaiah has already tried to get his message about the effects of racism out there.
I did write a song about like racial injustice, and I put that on my Instagram, and loads of people started supporting that, and it was a really good thing.
Black is working twice as hard just to be appreciated. Black is walking in the room and straight up being underrated. Take away our rights and lives we fear until we feel degraded. Back of the matter is I'm black, it's not that complicated.
I feel like I'm doing what I can to try and support the cause, but I feel like it's one thing, 1 or 2 or 10 people doing something, but it's another thing, a whole community doing something.
What does it mean to be black? Let me give you all the fact. Hoodies that portray the way they think you're in a gang. They think you got a gun or you're holding contraband. Fact of the matter is I'm black, it's not that complicated.
Now Isaiah is meeting Zion and Mandy over video for the first time to see what more can be done.
George Floyd and the whole Black Lives Matter movement has really like sparked something in me. I feel like I feel like we need to change something.
Could the answer be to create a list of the key changes they want to see? A manifesto to help achieve a fairer world for all?
Yeah, so a manifesto is a list of things that we want to see change or see happen differently in our community, in our society.
I think a manifesto would be good because it'll bring change, and I feel like everybody should be treated the same despite your race, ethnicity, nationality.
I don't feel that black people are treated the same. I feel like based off like loads of stereotypes, being like young black people in hoodies are seen as like criminals, or older ones like, yeah, when black people are generally just loud and aggressive and violent people.
I think that needs to change.
I think that we should all like meet up and like write down this manifesto in person where we can all like chat and we can like get to know each other. I think that like doing this manifesto is a good start.
As well as their own thoughts, all three know it's important to find out what change other people want to see. So Zion gets together with her mates Salma and Annabelle for a socially distanced chat.
I would follow around the shop, and I think it was because of my skin colour. Have you ever experienced that?
When I first came to this country, I remember I didn't know such thing as race, and that's when reality really hit hard, because there were times where I wake up in the morning and I wouldn't want to go to school.
I was in town and the police decided to come and stop me and ask me if I was a part of like a gang, and I was just trying to get home. So it was really annoying for me, because why are you racially profiling me just because you see me and a bunch of other black people?
Do you ever think that the colour of your skin could get in the way of our success?
Yes, because I want to be a politician, and for me, I have to work 10 times harder, and at home I'm always told to work harder and to try and achieve more to be able to get where I want to be.
I want to be a neurosurgeon when I'm older, but I know it's hard work, but I feel like, am I going to have to put in extra work just to get to the same place as an average white person would get without having to really try? It takes more time, more effort, more energy, and you have to believe in yourself. You can't just give up. I just feel like, as a black person, no one should have to go through the things that many black people have gone through. So we need to work hard and get our voices heard so that this can stop. Because I don't want my kids to go through the same thing that I've been through, what my parents have been through, and all my further generations.
Meanwhile, music lover Isaiah has contacted one of his biggest heroes.
One extra DJ Ace, it is October.
Could the award-winning DJ Ace offer any advice?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I know it's been a tough year. I've worried about young people, actually, because, like, you guys like seeing all of these things that are online and a lot of the, like, unrest and the protesting. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I need to understand what's going on in the world around us. Like, that's basic, but, like, I also am, like, I'm not trying to get myself too involved with watching all the videos and stuff. I don't want, like, that just, like, building up rage.
At 13, There were times when I would be maybe on the street with my friends, and just me and my friends, we're like kicking a ball about, and people are calling us a gang, or like old women would cross the street when I was coming. All of these little things would happen to me. They would bother me, but I wouldn't say anything. So to hear that you're like speaking out about them and you're being open and honest about them is a great start. I think the good thing that has come out of a lot of the evil that we've seen is that people are talking more. As black men, and even you as a young black man, I think now is the time when you felt the most empowered to speak about some of the things that you're going through or you've been through. There's a lot of people that would have never have understood or even had a clue as to like how you feel just being a black boy in this country. The difference between, I think, when I was growing up or when I was at school and now is, I think, especially in this time right now, if you really feel like this is happening, this is the time when you have to start calling it out. I think there's been a long time when we've been quiet about things that have bothered us and we just take it on the chin and it's like, whatever, this is just the way people think. We have the attention of the world and we have to really like speak up about things that we think are wrong. What are you gonna do to combat this?
I don't really know like what I could do or what other people could really do except for speak out.
Isaiah, make sure you hit me up, bro.
At home, Isaiah's had time to think about his chat with DJ Ace.
It's kind of sad that racism is still a thing and that it affects so many people, like how it has affected me and the other girls. But I just wanted to do this project so much that I can get my point across and get my views and so people understand what's right and what's wrong, and so that young black children can also figure out that they're not the only people feeling that way. And that's so I don't have to go and speak to my children and have the same conversation that I've had to have with my dad and that my dad had to have with his dad.
Mandy and Zion agree that it's a good time to speak out with their manifesto for change.
There needs to be change because what us black people go through is not okay.
It was great speaking to the other two, and it was good to see what they felt about growing up black in Britain, and it was weird to see that we've been through similar things, and I think this manifesto will be good, and hopefully we can get it out to different people so they can spread the word.
Next time, Isaiah, Zion and Mandy have to agree their manifesto. The superstars who are just as determined to help young black people succeed. And the teenagers' efforts to ensure everyone can hear their words.